Yeah. I was thinking about something, right? Yeah, I was thinking about that too. But how do you know when something's natural? Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. It's got that electric feeling to it. That's what I think vibes are. What you feel that way too? That's what's up. So this is what we're bringing today. Waves of energy, mood changing, thought provoking, feeding the spirit within. Peace, family. This is your brother, Agent 2020. Doing a quick video, clear vision conversations. Okay. So, we have another deployment, people. Now, I'm going to call him the so-called commander-in-chief, wants to deploy troops to all the major cities in conjunction with his anti-crime initiative. Okay, so first it was Washington, D.C. Now they're carrying weapons in Washington, D.C. At the behest of Pete, his mama said he was no good Hexeth. So children, teenagers, adults going to work, children going to school, children probably going to playgrounds, maybe going out to eat, people, tourists all over Washington, D.C. are now seeing these National Guard officers with weapons on their sides now, what they call them, sidearms. Okay. Now, this is no slight to the National Guard, but when you decide to go into the military, you are property of the United States of America, and the commander-in-chief of the armed forces is your so-called president. So-called president. So this isn't any slight to you guys. I mean, you're just doing what you're told to do. National Guardsmen in every state, reserves in every state, active, non-active military in every state. You are under the behest of this man who calls himself the president to send you into cities that you may have lived in at one time in your life, that you may have visited at one time in your life. You might have family. You might have friends in these cities. They're sending you into these cities now for anti-crime purposes. I just want y'all to let that sink in. Okay? Now, first it's Washington, D.C. Then it's going to be Chicago, allegedly, in the works, let me say. Baltimore, in the works. They already got Los Angeles. They already got troops in Los Angeles because of this, ICE thing that's going on there. And not to mention some other cities they're probably going to be adding in. So then you got cities like Houston, Miami, let's say Little Rock, Milwaukee, Detroit, New York City is on the list. Wouldn't surprise me if Buffalo made the list. Wouldn't surprise me if Charleston, North Carolina makes the list. It wouldn't surprise me at all about any of the cities that make the list. Okay? He's sending National Guard troops in because he wants to stop crime. So, we all know that the police themselves are what you would consider property managers or property protectors. They they have the authority to arrest you if you break a law on the actual land. Okay? So, out in the streets, anywhere you break the law, yeah, they can take you in for that. But sending the military to these different cities, for whatever reason they're sending them to these cities, it's a power move. Trump wants to show the United States, I ain't even gonna say the whole United States, I'm just gonna say his followers, the people who voted for him, the people who think that he's been sent by God, the people who are backing him, everybody from Christian nationalists, Christian fundamentalists, to hell, let's even say the Klan, neo-Nazis, anybody who has a problem with the United States in the form that it's in right now. They're all happy about this. They're jumping for joy. They're elated. Because see, this is politics. He's sending troops into all of these sanctuary cities, quote unquote. All of these quote unquote democratic strongholds. I don't trust neither party. I just want to let that be known right now. They're two wings on the same bird to me, and the bird is America. So I wouldn't care if you was a Democrat, Republican. I don't trust no independents. I don't trust any of y'all, really. If y'all really involved in politics like that, if you're not for the people, literally for the people, then I don't trust you. And you shouldn't be trusted by the people. I'm just going to be honest about the situation. If you're not doing anything for the people and you're just doing things for the special interests to line your pockets or to get into some type of office so you can try to impress somebody, up in the upper echelons of the government, federal people, whatever you're going to do, no, I don't trust you. If you're not out among the people, talking to the people about what's going on, if you're not letting the people know that you care about them like that, then no, I don't trust you. Most of you politicians, especially in my hometown, I've never heard your names before. I don't see you anywhere. I know a lot of y'all that moved here from different parts of the world and decided that you wanted to get involved in the city government. So I implore all people who care about their city, who care about their children, who care about their structure, local structure, who care about the schools, who care about anything in their city, I implore you to start paying attention to what these people are doing. Just like my brother Domino Real says, y'all should be going to these meetings. I wish I could go. I work second shift, so most of the time these things happen in the evening and I can't make it to them. So I'm working on that myself. But at the same time, you need to get involved. Go to these city council meetings, go to these hearings, go to these places, sit in on these court cases, do these type of things so you can see who these people are that got elected. Whether you voted for them or not isn't the issue. You need to be aware of what's going on. All of us, no matter where we are in this country, we need to be aware. Your awareness starts at the local level. Okay? Your awareness starts in your city, in your state, jurisdiction, wherever you live. That's where it starts at. But back to this dude, okay? Now, sending these National Guards troops into these cities, this in itself is, like I said, it's a power move. It's a flex. You know, he has to do something for his constituent, for his base, since he's took over the Republican Party to the point to where, you know, the Republican Party is now, you know what I'm saying, the Trumplican Party. The Trumplican Party. It's not the Republican Party anymore. They're all Trumpites. The ones who aren't Trumpites, they aren't speaking up because they probably either scared or they want to make sure they can keep their seats the next go around, just in case some stuff happen and, you know, people decide they don't want to vote anymore, or people decide that they don't like the current Republican, then they'll be the next one up. They're not saying anything. They don't care. So since they don't care, since they're not saying anything, it's business as usual. Business as usual. That's not a good thing. So he's sending these troops into these cities that didn't vote for him to begin with. A lot of them didn't. For anti-crime purposes. Anti-crime. So even though crime is down in a lot of these different cities, a lot of these different places, they're sending them in. And you know, it's kind of strange. The first place they're going to go to is they're going to come to our community. So this is the other part of my message. And I'm sending this out to my brothers and sisters in the community, no matter where you are in the United States, from the smallest town to the biggest. My suggestion to you would be to take a look at what's going on around you and decide whether you want to try and stop that, whether you want to try to participate in bringing that stuff to a halt. Because see, what's going to happen is once he sends these troops in and you do the same thing that you've been doing all of this time, then this is going to give them a reason, what I would like to call a prerequisite, to begin to take these steps for this martial law thing that could be coming into effect. Now, he's sending troops into these cities, but last weekend right here in Indianapolis, well, right here in Indiana, in Indianapolis, neo-Nazis were marching downtown. Okay? Now, they got the right to march downtown according to the Constitution and say whatever they gonna say. So, let's see what will happen. Let's just see what will happen if black people decided to get together and start marching downtown through the streets, saying no more violence. Talking to the youth, saying no more violence. Okay? They're going through talking about, you know, white power and all of this stuff. Well, if we march through saying black love, and this is just an example, this is just a contrast. If we march through saying black love, if, you know, the Hispanics, I ain't even gonna call you Hispanics, I'm just gonna call you original people, you know, that just happen to be from what's called Mexico right now. You know, if Mexican people, quote unquote Mexican people, decided they wanted to say, you know, brown love, if Mexican people and black people got together and wanted to march downtown and say, you know, black and brown unity, if there is any such thing as that, it could be, you know, you just got to get the ones who feel like they rather be something other than themselves. You got to move them to the side and get to the real people. But if we were to do something like that, would they call out the police? Would the SWAT teams be downtown waiting? If we were to announce that we wanted to have a rally for justice, or a rally for peace, or a rally for awareness of what's going on right now in the country, in different parts of the world, would they send the troops out? Or would they let us just march through the city like they let the neo-Nazis march through the city last weekend or the weekend before last? What do you think would happen? So, with this being the flex that it is, my suggestion to the family is it's time for you to really start thinking about what's going on around you. This is specifically to the youth. You really need to start looking around you as individuals and determine whether you really want to be a part of all of this stuff that's going on. I mean, is it cool to be out here, trapping? Is it cool to be out here drilling and all of that other different stuff that we do as a youth? And I'm speaking directly to young black males and young black females who are engaging in this activity. If there's any young white men, young white females engaging in this activity too on the poor side, I don't know if they're coming to your part of the city. No matter where they send them, I don't know if they're coming to your part, your neighborhoods. But if they do come to your neighborhoods, keep that in consideration. They're probably going to treat you just like they would treat anybody else. If they don't, then we know why. If they do, then we know why. You understand what I'm saying? So, to the black and brown youth, it's probably time for you to reevaluate what you want to do with your life. Because thinking that it's okay to do some of the things that you've been doing, it's probably about to be thrown out the window. Now, it's one person on the planet who said years ago, that this was going to happen. He said the government is getting tired of the things that you're doing to yourselves as well as others in your neighborhood. They're getting tired of your criminal activity. They're getting tired of all of the things that you are engaging in the streets. And they're going to start sending federal troops into your city to deal with you. There's one man who's been warning us for the last 40 plus years, that if we don't straighten up our act, that God is going to release them fiery serpents on you. If you don't start dealing with your behavior directly, if we don't start thinking about all of the stuff that we're doing on a regular basis, that there's going to be a release of people that you really don't want to see coming into your neighborhood to deal directly with you. And that man is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. He's been telling the world this for years. He has DVDs on this called Justifiable Homicide, parts 1, 2, and 3. Part 1 is Black Youth in Peril. Part 2 is The American Gangster. And part 3 is The American Gangster, an Executive Decision. I suggest that you get those and look at them and heed some of the words that he's saying, because it's always been said that if a man of God says something and then it comes true, then you know that this man is actually a man of God. If those things don't come true, then he spoke from his own, I guess I could say, either devices, or he spoke from his own predictions. They didn't come true, so you don't have to worry about him. he's not necessarily a man of God. When a man of God gives warning, when a man of God gives guidance, that's something that you should listen to. When these things come to pass, then you know that that is a man of God, specifically. You know that, okay? So the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan's been saying this for years. He's been telling us for decades that we need to clean our act up. Or they're going to start sending these troops into these cities, and they're going to do it for you. Now, Chicago specifically, he said that. He made he told Trump his first term in office, you're going to send troops into my city or our city to clean us up. My suggestion is you don't do that. And I'm just paraphrasing what the minister said, okay? But he's been trying to he's been talking directly to us about our behavior since 1955. Since 1955. For 20 years before his teacher departed. And since his teacher departed, since 1977, he's been talking to us. Once again, about us, about our relationship with God, about how we need to get ourselves together, about how we need to love one another and stop hurting and killing one another. He went on the whole Stop the Killing tour. So now that Mr. Trump has hit the executive chair again, once again, he's going to send federal troops into these major cities now. So you really can't say that the minister wasn't on point when he said what he said, because, you know, let's just be honest. There aren't any other preachers. There aren't any other deacons, probably with the exception of a few. Before his retirement, Reverend Jeremiah Wright and a few other reverends have been talking to us specifically about our behavior, and that we need to establish our relationship with God in a proper way and start moving towards doing something different with our lives. I salute all of you who have cared enough about us to talk to us about our behavior, because nobody else really cares about that. So, as a last comment, as a last word, it would be a good idea for us to take in consideration what we're doing and how we're acting. And now it's time to come up with a strategy. Now it's time to come up with another way of looking at this life that we're living and determine which route we want to take. Do you want to go on the narrow road, which is the road that is going to require you to actually think about what it is you're doing? Or do you want to take the wide road, which is the road everybody is on right now, doing whatever they want to do? See, he's sending the troops to the wide road. If you want a wide road, then you're going to have some federal agents all in your business, walking around in your streets doing foot patrols. This is a dry run for what we consider martial law. This is a dry run on how This government is wanting to deal directly with you and your behavior. Deal directly with you and your actions out here in the public. It's time for us to tighten up, family. It's really time for us to tighten up. If we don't tighten up, somebody already got a screwdriver in hand and they ready to try and tighten us up themselves. I don't need nobody trying to do that for me. As a matter of fact, I'm not allowing anybody to do that for me except for God himself. He's the only one. So, this is your brother 2020. Short, clear vision conversation. Just wanted to let you know. And we out. Peace.